Get right to some breaking news right now. Roads flooded in Skokie. Look at this, a major water main break. It is causing some big problems. We got road closures in effect right now and school closures too.
And a police chase through several Chicago area towns overnight. It ultimately ended in the far south suburbs. We'll tell you why officers were chasing that car.
But we want to get right to that breaking news in Skokie. We've got teams covering this on the ground and in the air. A major water main break. It's causing some big problems. Look at this video
I
here.
mean, Chris, we are hearing roads are blocked. District 69 is closed. And looking at that video from Skywatch, it looks like it's almost a river running through parts of Skokie.
Indeed. Dana and Audrina, this is a major transmission line that broke this morning about 5:15 a.m. Right around East Prairie coming off of Emerson Street, and it has since flooded into many parts of the neighborhoods that surround it here. So with Skywatch over the top here, you can see that there are public works that are out there, water department, all sorts of folks here. There's a boil order in Skokie right now. A lot of the residents do not have water pressure at all. Some have noted low water pressure, but until further notice, the boil order is on because of the fact that this water main has literally hemorrhaged all across parts of East Prairie and Emerson and McCormick and parts of Gulf. We got eastbound Gulf that's closed down now from Central Park over through McCormick Boulevard, and it has just gushed all the way through house after house through the street level there. Don't know anything about the basements, but the streets are certainly skating rinks right now. But consider it, not only is it's bad enough to have something like this happen, but consider that it happened with such severe low temperature. Consider all of this water there. The residents, you can see them, they're coming out, taking a look there. You can't even see the street markings. You could barely make out that crosswalk right there. I'm not seeing any traffic signals illuminated in that signal block either, so we don't know if there may be a power outage that's either widespread, limited on purpose or not. Obviously, this is a tremendous impact for the residents here in Skokie. We have numerous streets that are flooded out. We have numerous residences that are completely surrounded by water. Not necessarily that deep, but it doesn't have to be deep to have such a tremendous impact, especially since all of this right now, as it, let's say, consider this. Moving water does not freeze. As long as it's moving, it's going to stay waterish, but you're starting to get a slush layer on the top, and then when it's no longer moving, it's going to solidify. It is going to turn into ice, and ice everywhere, not just in the street, but consider all these folks that it's all around. This is what it looked like earlier on. This is the main itself over at East Prairie and Emerson Street, and you could see there was bubbling up out of there. Look at that vehicle. They're up to their, at least the axles, up to the engines in water. Look at how deep this is with this city truck that's going through there, this plow truck, keeping the water moving. You want to actually have that happen. You don't want to let the water just stagnate there. Otherwise, this time of year, with it being well below zero, it just becomes a skating rink. And you can see that that's McCormick Boulevard over there on the right. McCormick, that's just kind of angling down that curve right there. That's just south of Emerson, which is also Gulf Road. So I've got plenty of maps that we can go over this later, but this visual impact is more than enough. Stay away from the area north of Dempster, south of Gulf, east of about East Prairie, and west of the canal right there along McCormick Boulevard. So, wow. What a mess that is, and we will continue to follow this throughout the morning. Dana and Audrina, back to you.
This is a huge concern for so many reasons, Chris. Thanks so much, and I would like to see a map later, if you could, if we can, of exactly which roads are flooded.
I've got the maps all set up, so yes, indeed.
Okay.
I can go ahead, and as soon as we get that in there, it's sequenced in, we will have those for you.
I just think that'll help me put and Audrina put our eyes on exactly where it is. Okay, thanks so much, Chris.
Sure,
now we want to check in with our Sabrina Franza, who is now on the ground in Skokie. I mean, Sabrina, it looks almost like neighborhoods are flooded, and I'm wondering, do you have any indication? I know you just got there. Are any homes or basements flooding too?
No indication about basements here. It is a likely possibility, but I do want to show you a car that has now been submerged in water, but not just submerged, it's actually frozen into the water here. You can see the top layer of the water. As Chris was mentioning, as long as the water is moving, it won't freeze, but that top layer does seem to be freezing over. This car, which has its tire halfway submerged in water and presumably some of the undercarriage of the car also underneath the water. Now that top layer is frozen, causing damage likely to the vehicles that are parked on this street. If you take a look towards the middle of the road here, you can see the water flowing in the direction of that same street down this one-way road. And even further, these cars, there's an SUV that you can see here, this blue one, is also partially frozen in the water as the water's stopped flowing at a certain point in the street. It's actually very, very dangerous and highly concerning to the cars that are on the road here. If you take a look down this way, one of the officers was talking to us about how this is actually the direction of where the water main break happened. There's a TJ Maxx in a parking lot just after that stoplight that you can see at the end of the road there, where they say this originated from, and all of the water now moving down the street and around the corner. I know you had a bird's eye view of how far this is really spanning here, but just to give you another idea, you talked about the basements, Dana. There are some folks that are coming out now that are saying that their heat is actually powered by water. So now their concern is that with all of this happening, with the water pressure now dropping in the Skokie neighborhood, in the surrounding area, that they might not actually have heat on what's become one of the coldest days of the year so far. So we're waiting to figure out if it will actually impact those neighbors here in Skokie. There are crews on the ground here trying to clear. It seems like they're trying to clear any sort of drainage system so that this water can find a way to exit, and we'll keep you posted as soon as they have this under control. But for now, that's the latest in Skokie. I'll send it back to you guys.
Wow, Sabrina, yeah, from above we see that some backyards are flooded, homes might be flooded. We'll continue to check in with you guys on the ground and in the air. Thank you.